Yesterday was Columbus Day, and just like last year, I sat and listened to the left spout lies about Columbus, and I sat and listened to the left just spout anti-American sentiment all day. And just like last year, I'm making a video. The video I made last year debunked all their lies, and I'll have it pop up at the end of this video if you want to check it out. But today, I just want to show you the irony of what's happening today. You see, Columbus Day became a holiday to combat racism. Yes, you heard me right. 1892, President Benjamin Harrison on October 12th proclaimed Columbus Day a national holiday in response to the racism towards Italian Americans. You see, shortly before this time, 11 Italian Americans were lynched in New Orleans. The New York Times had written this, and it's ironic because the same left-wing newspapers and Democrat Party were attacking the Italians then are attacking us now. Our future citizens is the name of the op-ed in the New York Times. There has never been since New York was founded so low and ignorant a class among the immigrants who poured in here as the Southern Italians, who have been crowding our docks during the past years. They're disgusting, utterly unfit, ragged, filthy, and verminous. That was the New York Times. Doesn't sound too much different than the New York Times today talking about Italians and Christopher Columbus. You see, what happened was, after the Democrats lost in the Civil War and the Republicans freed the slaves, hundreds of thousands of Italian immigrants took the jobs that the slaves were doing. And the same racist Democrats who hated black people hated the Italians because the Italians were pretty dark. In fact, that's where the derogatory term Guinea came from. They started calling them Guineas, meaning Negro. And they started calling these Italian Guineas and accusing them of every bad thing that happened to them and then lynching them. This is what was happening. You know, the same racism that the Democrats had towards blacks, they had towards Italians. In fact, the Democrat Party started the KKK, and they expanded who they were against, not just blacks and Jews, but also Catholics, because all the Italians that came over were Catholics. So the Democrat Party, whose blatant anti-Catholicism is on display every day now, was started back in the 1800s. And that's why Columbus Day became a holiday, to combat that, to show the Americans, listen, the Italians aren't these verminous, evil people you're saying. We were discovered by an Italian American, Christopher Columbus, and we became the freest, most prosperous, greatest nation known to man. So let's honor Christopher Columbus. And over the years, Americans started having parades for him and putting up statues. And recently, you see the left again, the Democrats canceling parades, pulling down statues of Christopher Columbus. Not only that, Black Lives Matter and Antifa, right before the election, when they elected Biden, were pulling down statues of Jesus Christ from Catholic churches. They were going to Catholic churches, pulling down statues of Saint Sarah, because they said he oppressed the indigenous people, when history is clear. He was a saint to them. They called him a saint. He's a saint. So the left is using the same lies they used in the 1800s to support their racism and bigotry. And this is why today, Tulsi Gabbard, former presidential candidate, Democrat, lifelong Democrat, left the Democrat Party today. She announced it. She said, number one, because they're controlled by the elitist cabal of warmongers. And you see, the world is on fire under Biden. I mean, we're on the brink of nuclear war, if you listen to Joe Biden. And because they're driven by their cowardly wokeness of anti-whiteness that they use to divide the American people. And you've seen it on display this week when African-American Kanye West and African-American Candace Owens wore t-shirts that said White Lives Matter at a fashion show. And the left went berserk. instead of saying, wow, that's beautiful, you know, white people are wearing Black Lives Matter and black people are wearing White Lives Matter. And we realize each of us matters, that every life is sacred, that God has made white lives and black lives in the image of himself. No, the left doesn't see it that way. The left called Kanye crazy for wearing that. And Kanye was shut down, canceled. And Kanye said the reason they're canceling him is because the left assigns you a color and a vernacular that goes with that. So you're black, you're a leftist. And if you speak a language other than the vernacular the left assigns you, they can't have it because they got to control. They got to control you. Just like the Democrats were mad when you went off the plantation in the 1800s, they're mad when you leave their plantation today. They're my words. So the left are the racists in this country today and always. They always have been. The Democrat Party was founded on racism. The Republican Party was founded on freedom and equality for all. Abraham Lincoln was our first Republican president. And the left even hates him too. They put down statues of him because he wasn't as woke as they wanted him to be. You know, they want him in 1860 to be as woke as they are in 2022. So nothing will ever be enough for them. They will use their hatred for America, their hatred for capitalism, their hatred of freedom. They will use that to say we're racist. But the good news is we're having a red wave, maybe a red tsunami, I should say, next month. And we're going to show the Democrats that people are tired of their nonsense, tired of the lies, tired of their racism, tired of their bigotry. So if you can't wait till November, you want to move to a free state, come to Florida, where we have an Italian Catholic governor who believes in freedom, Ron DeSantis. And the way you do that is you go to realestateforlife.org, realestateforlife.org, pro-life, pro-freedom Catholic organization. God bless and stay Catholic.